Hello, Caleb. Good to see you. Alright, we're just gonna do a quick recap of all of the action today. Hello, Kevin. Good to see you. Thank you. Hello, Volcani. Yeah, some great chess today. Yep. Oh, yeah, he's been playing great chess. Yeah, Nepo always brings his A game. It's great for him. Could he 3-peat? Absolutely. Alright. I'll just do a quick recap. All of the action. Is that there? Yeah, but fortunately for him, tomorrow's a rest day, so that gives him some time to prepare. Alright, okay, I guess we're gonna do a recap, yeah? Hello, Logan. This will not be a long stream. Like I said, we're just gonna do a recap. Should really tell myself, you know, after the recap just to wrap up. Hello, Coming Shark. Alright. Well, of course, half a point is better than a loss, but I mean, if you want to win, the candidates have to win games. Anyway, we're gonna do a recap. Hello, Gypsy. Yeah, I'll just do a recap of all of the action today. Alright, wait, so because of that, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. There we go. Alright, are you guys ready? Okay. So it's 3-point. Alright. Okay, everyone. Let me check. Everything looking good. Okay, but top 4, like there's literally no difference between 4th and 8th, or 2nd and 8th for that matter, in the Candidates Tournament. You have to win. It's the only place that gets you something. Alright. Okay, guys. Let's move that ready, that ready, that ready. You have to adjust that. Okay. Okay, guys, we're gonna do a recap. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today was the 4th round of the FIDE Candidates Tournament in Toronto, Canada. So going into this round, Jan Nepomniachtchi and Caruana were tied for the lead with 2 points out of 3 games. So let's have a look at what happened in this round. Now, first off, we had the game between Hikaru Nakamura and Praggnanandhaa. Hikaru going into this round had 1 point, and Praggnanandhaa was on 50% with 1.5. So, you know, an okay start for Praggnanandhaa, but I'm sure that Hikaru was hoping for more. Anyway, let's have a look at what happens in this game. Hikaru opens up with the move 24, and Pragg goes for the move 1, e5, sticking to his guns. Knight of 3, knight c6, bishop e5, a6 by Pragg, bishop a4. All of this pretty standard. And yesterday, Praggnanandhaa shocked the world of chess with the move f5, the delayed Schliemann gambit. Now, I was sure he was not going to repeat it. And indeed, in this game, he just sticks to his guns and plays the more standard knight to f6. Now, in round number 1, Firouzja here castled with the move castles, but that allows knight takes e4, and this is Praggnanandhaa's main move going into what's called the open Spanish. Now, the only move you have to avoid the open Spanish is the move d3 to protect this pawn over here. Alright, so Praggnanandhaa goes bishop to c5. Now, back in the day, moves like d3 would also take your opponent out of book because it becomes less forcing, but these days, pretty much everything is analyzed by all of the top players. So bishop c5, played quickly by Praggnanandhaa. We see castles, and now the move b5, pushing the bishop away. Bishop to b3, and now pawn to h6, stopping the dark square bishop from ever coming to g5, and also stopping this knight jump. So Hikaru played a4, putting pressure on the pawn on b5, threatening to take, and with the rook in the corner, so Pragg just plays the move a rook to b8. We see bishop to e3, offering a trade of bishops, and here, you know, Pragg, he can take, he can also just go d6, d6 is also fine, because white can take and double the black pawns, but black should be doing quite fine here, as he has a lot of control in the center. But Pragg decides to take, and double the white pawns. Now, the white pawns in the center are actually completely fine, because they control a lot of squares, and they're not weak. The pawns may be doubled, but they're not isolated. So now we see the move d6 by Praggnanandhaa, pretty standard. Hikaru decides to take, to open up the a file for his rook. Alright, so now we see queen e1, trying to bring the queen over to the king side and trying to somehow make use of this half-open f-file. We see the move castles, and now the move h3 by Pragg. We see knight e7, Pragg bringing his knight over to the king side, and here knight is c3. Okay, so bishop to e6 by Pragg, offering to trade bishops, and here Hikaru can take, but Pragg just recaptures, and the structure becomes completely symmetrical. So I think black is doing quite fine here. Alright, so hello, how's it going, buddy? Anyway, so here we see the move knight d2, bring the knight over to the center, so that in case Pragg takes, Hikaru can recapture with the knight and keep his pawn structure intact. Of course, he doesn't want to take with the pawn. Sorry, I got distracted there. Anyway, so queen of d7 was played by Pragg, so that in case Hikaru takes, he can now also recapture with the queen. And Hikaru goes knight to e2, bringing his knight over to the king side. Alright, so rook to a8 by Pragg, trying to contest the only open file on the board. Hikaru takes, black recaptures, and now he takes on a8 and goes knight to g3. So This knight is quite active on the g3 square, but it's very difficult to ever do anything. The knight cannot jump to h5, also not to f5. So Pragg just plays knight to g6. Hikaru goes queen to d1. Trying to go knight h5, maybe to trade off the knights. And now we see a rook to a2, hitting the pawn on b2. And Hikaru goes queen b1, hitting the rook away. Pragg goes back, queen d1, rook to a2. I think actually Pragg might have been a tiny bit better here had he played something like pawn to c5. But perhaps he didn't want to allow knight h5. And also, I mean, he's playing against one of the best players in the field. So it is understandable that he just played rook to a2, queen b1, rook a8, queen d1, and the game ended in a draw. So, I mean, a very fine result for Pragg. He draws one of the highest seeds in the field with the black pieces. A slightly disappointing result for Hikaru. I mean, if you want to win the candidates, you do have to win games with white pieces. But, you know, all of these players are super well prepared. So it's very difficult to do anything. And yeah, they're going into the rest day. Pragg on 50% and Hikaru on what we call -1, half a point less than 50%. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. The next game was between Nijat Abbasov and Alireza Firouzja. Now, going into this game, I was sure that Firouzja would try to take his chances with black. He's playing against the lowest seed in the field. And even though he has the black pieces, he is outrating him by 130 points. So we see Abbasov sticking to his guns with the move 1d4. Knight f6 by Firouzja, and here the move c4. So I was very curious to see how Firouzja would approach this opening. Would he go for something like the King's Indian? Firouzja plays the move e6. And we saw in round number 1, when Nepo played this against Abbasov, Abbasov played the move knight to c3, inviting the Nimzo Indian. And Firouzja goes for it. He goes bishop to b4, following my course, which is, by the way, on sale, everyone. Make sure to check it out. The link is in the description. Or type !courses in the chat. They're the best courses against 1d4. Queen to c2 by Abbasov, a very solid move. Making sure that in case black takes, you can always recapture with the queen. Keeping your pawn structure intact. And also the move queen c2 often facilitates the e2, e4 push. I actually have a lot of games with the queen c2 Nimzo myself, both from the white side and the black side. And in this game, Firouzja plays the move d6. It's also a move I faced most prominently against Wesley So. And Abbasov, you know, follows my game. I played the move e3 against Wesley, castles, and now bishop to d3. So c5 was played. I don't remember exactly. Perhaps in this game I played knight g to e2, which is often a plan. But Abbasov decides to take on c5. And we'll see Firouzja recapturing with the bishop, and now knight to f3. So even though Firouzja tries to imbalance the game, it's honestly very difficult against a very well-prepared opponent, which Abbasov is. I mean, make no mistake about it, he also spent months preparing for this tournament. And yeah, like I said, it's always difficult when you play with black. So d5 was played, Abbasov castles, and now Firouzja decides to trade on c4. Firouzja, by the way, also still playing quite quickly, so both players might still have been in their preparation. And now we see the move bishop takes c4 by Nijat. Knight bd7 by Firouzja, played almost instantly, making it very clear that he's still in book. And we see the move b3. After some thought by Abbasov. A very solid move. He wants to fianchetto his bishop. And, you know, the structure is fairly symmetrical, as now both sides have traded off their C and D pawns. There are still a lot of pieces on the board. I mean, all minor pieces, the queen and the rooks, but because of the symmetrical nature of the position, it's difficult to see how Firouzja is going to try to imbalance this one. So in this position, he plays the move a6, preparing the b5 push. And Nijat goes bishop to d3, eyeing this pawn on h7, and so that he can meet the move b5 with the move knight to e4, hitting the bishop and the knight on f6. Now, the idea is that black cannot take, as you take with the bishop, hitting the rook, and you win the pawn on h7. And today, Chess.com was very generous with handing out brilliant moves. In this position, Firouzja played bishop b7, which is a good move, but brilliant. I personally find it a bit generous. Well, at first glance, it might seem like black is hanging the bishop, but the idea is that in case white takes, you recapture, and if you take the knight, then black goes queen takes d3, as this bishop is hanging as well, and black is doing perfectly fine. So Nijat found a brilliant bishop takes b5 again. I think a little generous. I mean, he just has in mind that, hey, in case you take the bishop, you might as well, you know, get a pawn for it before you take the knight. And now Firouzja finds the brilliant knight takes b3. Again, I mean, okay, he's saying like, okay, if I lose my knight, I might as well just get a pawn for it. No, I personally don't really find it brilliant, but anyway. Queen takes b3, pawn takes b5. And here, you know, the structure is fairly symmetrical. You cannot take the pawn on b5 as that runs into bishop a6, hitting the queen, and you win the rook for the bishop on f1, and black's winning. So Abasov goes rook to d1, hitting the queen on d8. Now queen c7 by Firouzja, a nice move. Because with this move, he's actually eyeing the king on g1. If you don't pay attention here, play a slow move like a3. Black all of a sudden goes knight g4, threatening to take here and here. And there's not much you can do about it. Black is just absolutely crushing. To illustrate, let's say you go h3. Black takes here. If you take the knight, you lose the rook and you're lost. And if you take the bishop, well, that's even worse because then there's check and a mate. Alright, which is why Abasov goes bishop to b2. Now, knight g4 can always be met either with a rook to c1 or queen c3, forcing the queen trade as you threaten checkmate on g7 yourself. So queen c5 was played by Ali Reza, trying to activate his queen along the 5th rank. We see a trade, rook a c1, queen f5. Again, the position is fairly symmetrical. Both sides only have one minor piece left. Firouzja does have these double pawns, but it's completely fine, and in some cases it can work to his advantage if he goes king h8 and rook g8 to put pressure on his pawn on g2. So Nijat goes knight d4, hitting the queen on f5. Queen g5, threatening a checkmate. And so he wants to provoke this move g3, as that will create a lot of light squared weaknesses around the white king. So Basov goes knight to c6, blocking the diagonal. Rook a6 by Firouzja, hitting the knight. The knight absolutely cannot move. And now Abasov finds the only move to stay in the game, which is the move h4, hitting the queen. Now the queen, it's not that easy to stay on the g-file. First of all, I mean, if you go here, this runs into a deadly fork, and you lose your queen. But also, if you go to g7 to eye this pawn over here, white can take, the knight's protected, and white's just up a pawn. So Firouzja takes the pawn. Now Abasov can take over here, as now this is no longer protected. And here Firouzja finds the brilliant rook takes a2. I mean, what is brilliant about this? Like, anyone can see that in case you take the bishop, you take a mate, but in Chess.com was super generous today. G3 was played, blocking off the diagonal. Firouzja took, Abasov recaptures, and so here we get this position in which black is up a pawn. Black's got 4 pawns against 3 moves from white, but these pawns over here are doubled, so it's super difficult to really try to convert this into a full point. So queen h5 was played by Firouzja, king g2, trying to bring his rook into the game with rook h1. Rook b8 was played, trying to activate the other rook, but Abasov played very solid defense here. Queen f3, offering the trade of queens. Firouzja decided to keep the queens on. Now, if Firouzja is able to go rook b8 here and force Abasov to go passive, then there might be some chance with 2 pairs of rooks on the board. But Abasov goes rook a1, getting a pair of rooks off the board, and so it's very difficult for Firouzja to do anything. So we see take, see king g7, rook a4, good move, threatening rook g4, which would actually win the game, as then the queen is lost. So rook b5 was played to be able to meet this with this. Alright, so rook f4, h5, e4, rook to g5. You know, this might objectively be a draw, but Firouzja definitely is still trying here. So we see king h3, we see e5. I mean, all of it, again, perhaps is just a draw, but I feel like e5 forces the issue a little bit quickly. So e5 was played, rook f5, we see a trade, and Abasov took with the queen. He evaluated that, hey, in case black takes, he's actually completely fine here, as he's going to go king h4, and his pawn will actually end up being lost. Like, let's say you go king h6, king h4, e4. White can go g4, and after takes, white can pick up this pawn over here, and it's just a very easy draw. Alright, so king h6 was played by Firouzja, and now Abasov finds the only move, queen to f3. You have to hold on to this pawn over here, as Firouzja was trying to take and go king to g5. Alright, so queen f3, queen g5. I mean, Firouzja here is trying, but he's up a pawn, but with the double pawns, it's super difficult to do anything. He goes f5, but now the problem is that your king gets a little bit exposed. And in queen endgames, that means that the opponent is going to get a lot of checks. So he's trying to push forward, but Abasov playing good defense here. Very difficult for black to do anything. He gives some checks, some more checks, and yeah, I mean, you have this past h-pawn, but it's almost impossible to do anything with it. So yeah, Abasov played a very nice defensive effort here, and eventually this game ends in a draw. So yeah, another very solid result for Abasov. He's playing good chess in this event, and he is once again showing to the players in the candidates, hey, if you want to beat me, especially with black, you're gonna have to take risks. He's playing rock solid chess, and I think it's the right strategy. He's trying to provoke him, trying to take crazy risks against him, and then he will take his chance. So I think he's maximizing his chances, which is, you know, a very impressive effort, as he's by far the underdog in the field. All right, let's have a look at the next game. The next game was played between Fabiano Caruana and Gukesh. So Fabiano had the white pieces. He opens up with e4. We see e5 by black, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop to c4. So the Italian game. The other main move is, of course, the move bishop to b5, the ruler pass. So Gukesh just copies bishop to c5, castles, knight f6, all of this pretty standard, d3, d6. And in the Italian, there are many different plans. Like, you can play this very aggressively with a quick c3 and d4, but you can also play this very slowly, the gioco piano, which means like the slow game, I think. Slow game, slow Italian, I think slow game, with the move c3 and d3. So castles, knight f6, d3, d6, c3, a6. We see Fabiano going a4, gaining a little bit of space on the queen side. Gukesh drops his bishop back to a7, h3, castles, knight b2. And in this position, there are just so many plans, it's almost difficult to name all of them. For example, you can go knight e7 to g6, you can go bishop e6, offering a trade of bishops. In the case white takes, you accept these double pawns. You can also go for the plan that Gukesh went for, with rook e8, and then bishop e6, so that in case white takes, you can now recapture with the rook, and keep your pawn structure intact. Alright, so rook to e1, sorry, queen c2, rook e8, and now rook e1 by Fabiano, h6 by Gukesh. And now Fabiano went for a very typical plan, knight f1, with the idea to go knight to g3, or sometimes bishop e3, and then bring the knight into the middle. Alright, so I'm being told that gioco piano actually means the quiet game. Yeah, no, that's what I was trying to say. But so knight to g3 was played by Fabiano, a pretty typical maneuver in the Italian, or sometimes in the ruler pass. We see pawn to b5, knight f5 by Fabiano, because this knight on f5 is pretty annoying. It's not easy to get rid of it at all. You cannot go g6. It's going to hang this pawn over here. And so Gukesh just takes, and now plays knight e7, trying to trade off the knight on f5. With the move knight e7, he is hanging this pawn though, but it's a bit of a sacrifice. Perhaps what Fabiano should have done is keep the knight on f5 with the move knight h4. Is black takes, you get another knight on f5, and I like white's chances here. One nice idea here, for example, is to go for a quick c4 and then rook a3, rook g3, and then all of a sudden go and attack for the black king. So let's say bishop e6, c4, let's say take, rook a3, and this can all of a sudden get very dangerous. But instead he takes the pawn. But I feel like this lets Gukesh off the hook a little bit. It makes his moves a lot easier. Takes on f5, white recaptures. Now again, you're down a pawn, but it's a double pawn. This bishop is active, the rook is active. The white's slightly underdeveloped. So Gukesh goes pawn to c5, trying to open up the position so his active piece will count for more. We see Fabiano going bishop f4, and now he takes on a4. So Fabiano goes knight to c6, hitting the queen and the bishop. We see queen e7, we see a trade, takes the bishop, and now a very nice move, pawn takes b4. If you take on a7 with the queen right away, white's got bishop e3, pinning the pawn over here, and if you pick up this pawn and this pawn, white's all of a sudden doing very well on the queen side. Alright, so we see pawn takes b4, white recaptures, and now another excellent move by Gukesh, queen to d4. This is not a double attack, this is a triple attack, hitting this, this, and this. And perhaps this might be a move that Fabiano has missed. Perhaps he might have, counted on the move queen takes a7. Here white takes, is doing pretty well. This pawn is weak, white's up a pawn, and this looks like a tough defense for Gukesh. But queen e4, fantastic move. Again, hitting almost every single piece on the board. And so Fabiano goes queen to c1. He doesn't want to give up the bishop, as he would rather give up the knight, which is kind of misplaced over here anyway. So now Gukesh takes, and the difference is that now the queen on c1 is a little bit more passive than it would have been on c2, as then white can take here, and the pawn on a6 becomes very weak. So Fabiano takes a pawn, now queen b7 by Gukesh. Again, he's down a pawn, but the pawn on f5 is a little bit weak, and again, it's a double pawn. So very difficult for Fabiano to create winning chances here. Goes queen e2, knight d5, hitting the bishop, bishop to g3, and now pawn to f6. Stopping white from ever playing f5, f6 himself to try to open up the black king. Alright, so we see bishop to d6, queen c6, good move, hitting the rook and the bishop, so rook a5, black takes, and Fabiano takes on d5 with the rook, but now we see a rook to e1. This would have been checkmate if not for the queen here. Black gives up the rook, but the idea is that black will get the rook on d5 himself. So after takes. Now here what white can do, white can actually go into a pawning game with the move queen e6. And often, you know, if you go into a pawning game up a pawn, you're usually winning. But Gukesh had all of this calculated. He saw that, hey, if white does that, I'm going to take. Go king f8, king e7 on the next move and pick this up. And in case white goes f4, to go f5, black goes f5 himself to stop it. And g4 can be met with g6. And again, after takes, black's going to pick up this pawn. And it should just be a draw. Alright, so g4 was played by Fabiano defending the pawn. But here, once again, we have a queen in game. White does have an extra pawn, but the extra pawn is double. So, super difficult to convert. King h7 by Gukesh, queen c3, queen e4, and the players were just shuffling back and forth. Fabiano, I mean, he was definitely trying, but again, with the double pawn, I think it's just so difficult to ever make any progress. I mean, we saw a pawn trade on g4, now a check, he picks up this pawn, and now especially since all of the pawns are on one flank, I think it's pretty much impossible to win. Gukesh gives a check, keeps checking, check, 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 this queen here, check, and eventually, after some checks, check, check. I mean, again, this part of the game is not the most exciting, so I'm just fasting forward. It ends in a draw. So, not the most exciting game. Eventually ends in a draw. Okay result for both players. Fabiano is still tied for still, you know, in the top half with 2.5 out of 4. Gukesh as well. He's also on 2.5 out of 4. And again, he's had a great start. He's in the top half as the junior player in the field, which is absolutely amazing to see. Now let's go to the game of the round. The game of the round was definitely the game between Jan Nepomniachtchi and Vidit Gujarati. Going into this round, Nepo was one of the leaders with 2 points out of 3 games. And Vidit was on 50%. He won a fantastic game with the black pieces against Hikaru in round number 2. But unfortunately for him, yesterday he lost with the white pieces against Pragnananda. So let's have a look. Nepo opens up with his bread and butter to move e2, e4, and e5 by Vidit, sticking to his guns. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5, Nepo going for the Ruy Lopez. And what is the most solid defense against the Ruy Lopez? The move knight f6, the Berlin. Now this is also what Vidit played against Hikaru round number 2, where he won in crushing style. In that game, Hikaru played the move d3. But in this game, Nepo goes for the critical test of the Berlin endgame, which arises after castles, knight takes c4, and now pawn to d4. White sacrifices a pawn in the middle, so he wants to open on the center as quickly as possible. And you cannot take this pawn, as now white will go rook to e1, take advantage of the open e-file, and d5 can be met with knight takes here, hitting the knight. f3 is also a threat. So this is why black should not take. Instead, the move is knight d6, hitting the bishop on b5. Now here, a lot of exciting games have continued with pawn takes e5, knight takes b5, a4, trapping the knight. But black goes here, then takes, and then d5. After takes, queen takes, then queen e4 check, queen e6, and often these games have ended in draws. Alright. Alright, so let's have a look. Instead, the main line is to give up the bishop for the knight first, black recaptures, and then take here. Hitting the knight, knight f5, and white takes, and goes into this endgame. Now, at first glance, this might look great for white. You're like, what is black doing? White's got a 4 versus 3 majority on the king side. Black's king is in the middle. And black's got this 3.5 versus 3 majority on the queen side. So you could argue that white is up half a pawn. But the thing is, what does black have? Black has the bishop pair. That's his big trump. The bishop's on c8 and e8. Because the position is fairly open. So that is really what black is banking on in this endgame. Anyway, here Jan continued with the move in knight to c3, the standard move. And here there's many ways for black to play this position. For example, one plan is to go bishop e7, followed by knight h4, trading off the knights quickly. Another plan is to go king e8, combined with h5, trying to clamp down on the g4 push. Vidit goes for another plan. He goes for the move bishop to d7. This is also completely fine, with the idea to go b6, king c8, and king d7, and try to connect the rooks that way, because that, to be fair, is a problem for black. Black cannot easily connect the rooks, but if you can get the king here, black's doing pretty well. Nepo plays pawn to h3, trying to gain some space on the king side, and Vidit goes pawn to h6 to take out this annoying knight g5 jump. And here the move Nepo played is not a novelty, but it's a move that has not been played a whole lot. Most games here have continued with moves like b3, followed by bishop b2, rook a1. For example, let's say black goes here, bishop b2, king c8, rook a1, and, you know, so forth. Rook d2, rook d1 is an idea, or rook here. I'm sure Vidit was ready for this, but Jan came up with the move g4. Again, this is not a novelty. He's attacking the knight, so black only has one move, which is knight e7. But the move here is, the move he goes for is the move knight to h2. Now you might be wondering, wait, why does he move his knight, which was developed, closer to the center? Why does he move it backwards, right? I mean, we're supposed to, you know, move our pieces up. Well, the idea is that he wants to go f2, f4, and gain a lot of space on the king side. Again, that's where he has a space advantage. He wants to go f2, f4, maybe f5, bring out the bishop, and then all of a sudden, this 4 versus 3 majority is really felt. Which is why Vidit played the move g5. He's allowing f4, but now he can take. So Nepo recaptured. Nepo, by the way, is still playing super quickly, making it clear that he's still in his preparation. And so Vidit here must have been feeling the heat. He's down 40 minutes on the clock, he's in his opponent's preparation. And it feels like white already has a pretty pleasant position. His pawn on h6 is a little bit weak. The pawn on f7 is a little bit weak. And now he goes bishop d6. And furthermore, this f6 square is also a little bit weak. White can potentially put a knight there. So Nepo goes knight e4, again, still playing quickly. I think it was still in book. And here Vidit goes b6, stopping the move knight to c5. So a lot of talk has been, there's been a lot of talk. Like, what do these players have their seconds for? What are these training camps about? Well, these training camps are to try to find new ideas in the opening. And that's what Nepo found here. You know, if you find a new idea, you catch your opponent off guard, that can give you really good chances to win the game. And that's why, again, they spent months and months on preparation. So here, knight f3 was played by Jan, bringing his knight back into the game. He played this fairly quickly after like a 5 or 6 minute thing. So I don't know if he was in his preparation or not at all. Anyway, only Jan knows. Vidit played the move c5, very natural. Now his knight can move here. And Jan goes king f2. Oh no, wait, sorry. He parks the knight on f6, king c8, and now he goes king to g2. Slowly but surely improving his position, because it's very difficult for black to do anything. King b7, king to g3. And again, these pawns are a little bit weak. White's got easy play here. Tough position for Vidit, especially considering the time situation. Goes pawn a5 to gain some space on the king side. And perhaps here Jan made a bit of a mistake. With the move a5, what Vidit wants to do is go a4 and then maybe rook a5, rook b5, create some counterplay over here. Perhaps Jan should have just stopped it altogether with the move a4, making sure that this rook stays locked in a little bit. Thanks Chess24DE for the raid. Appreciate it. So a3 was played. Now Vidit goes a4. We see rook 81. And now knight to c6 to bring this knight back into the game. But again, look at the clock. Vidit down 15 minutes on the clock. And keep in mind that there is no increment. So if you have no time, you're in serious time pressure. There's not a 30-second bonus after every move you make. Nepo goes c3. And now we see bishop b7 by Vidit. Nepo goes knight h4 with the idea to go knight here. Now, I think Nepo might not have played this, you know, completely precise, but he always kept pressure. He kept playing quickly, kept putting pressure on Vidit. And I think eventually, you know, that it's not easy to deal with. Vidit finds a good move though, with pawn to h5. Now, the thing is, you cannot take this pawn, as black will sack the rook, in the case you take, go rook g8 check. The king has to move, and now you take the knight. And black's completely winning here, as these bishops are just absolutely crushing. Generally, as a rule of thumb, two minor pieces are usually better than a rook, and we see that right here. Alright, so Nepo goes g5, trying to keep you know, his king sheltered. We see rook a5 by Vidit, a very natural move to go here to hit this pawn. But now Nepo goes rook d1, rook b5, and goes bishop to c1, protecting this pawn over here. Now here, Vidit makes a serious mistake. What he should have done here is the move c4. To take this pawn over here, and I'm not 100% sure how Jan would have protected here, right? But in the game, Vidit goes rook to b3. And the rook over here ends up being a little bit stuck, right? I mean, if you can get maybe knight here and here, you're putting a lot of pressure. But if not, then the rook can easily be offside from all of the action that's happening on the king side. And that's why Nepo took his chance here to try to break through. He went pawn to g6. G7 is a big threat, hitting the rook, threatening the queen. So FIDE had to take, recaptures, and now rook to d8. Alright, now we see knight takes c7, takes, and Nepo picks up the pawn on h5. So he now has a passed e pawn and a passed h pawn. Alright, we see check on d3. Nepo blocks, takes, and now FIDE can pick up the pawn on h3. But the moment you pick up this pawn, Nepo can now play the move e6, and this pawn is getting closer and closer to promotion. FIDE here finds the only move. He goes pawn to b5, excellent move, trying to go b4 to try to get this rook back to life again. But you know, besides being under pressure on the board, also again look at the clock. The pawn machine's got 54 minutes, and FIDE's got 8, and FIDE needs to make another 7 moves to reach the time control. So we see bishop to g5, good move, hitting the knight. The knight went to d5, e7, the pawn is 1 square away from promotion, and so FIDE played bishop to d7. If you give up the knight for the pawn, you really do not have enough compensation. That's why it's going to take here, and the extra knight here should decide in the endgame. So bishop to d7, only move. We see rook to d1, hitting the knight, and here king c6, perhaps already a serious mistake by FIDE. Seems like instead he should have played the move bishop to c6, defending the knight that way, because in case you take with check. But again, super difficult to figure out what's going on, especially when you're getting low on time. As here, you know, they're most like king g3, stepping out of this x-ray, so that in case black takes, you can take. This is no longer a check, so white will promote. And, you know, maybe black can sack the knight here, but again, super difficult to figure out what exactly is going on, and difficult to go for this when your clock is ticking. So FIDE goes king to c6, defending the knight. And now, again, if he's able to take here and bring his rook back into the game, he's doing quite fine. But Nepo finds a nice move, king to e4, hitting the knight, which, you know, is in a bit of trouble. If you go knight b6, for example, there's knight. Well, you can also take here, and in case black takes, the knight g7, followed by e8. It's just completely over. White gets a queen, and black gets absolutely nothing. But the move FIDE had to go for here is to sack the knight. Knight takes c7, and in case white takes, goes rook takes b2. White is probably winning here with the extra piece in the endgame, but, you know, black's got 2 pawns. Black's got 4 pawns on the queen side, white's got 2 pawns, so definitely still chances here for a draw. But the move FIDE played here is losing. He played the move bishop to e8, creating a counter threat on the knight. Now Nepo just took the knight, FIDE took the knight on h5, and Nepo goes bishop to c1. Not only defending this pawn over here and making sure the rook is trapped, but also hitting this bishop over here, which is running out of moves. This diagonal is actually pretty short. FIDE gave a check, king up, and now he goes pawn to b4 to try to free up his rook and get it back into the game. But Nepo goes king f6, hitting the bishop. He's sacrificing his own rook, but in case you take, white takes here. He's going to get a new queen. So FIDE played bishop to e8, and now rook d8. And again, the bishop is simply trapped. White's going to take, move the rook out of the way, get a queen, and that's all. That's really all there's to it. FIDE took the pawn on a3. And the idea is that in case you go, let's say bishop here, white goes rook here. And again, the king is taking away the g6 square and the f7 square, and the rook is taking away the e8 square and the h5 square. So FIDE took an a3, now Nepo takes, he just recaptures, bishop d7, and now king f7. Threatening takes, e8 queen, and it's just completely over. So very nice win here for Jan. He takes the lead in the candidate storm. He storms away with 3 points out of 4 games. And keep in mind, everyone, Jan Nepomniachtchi, he also won the candidates in 2020/2021. He completely dominated the field in 2022. Can he do it again? Can he go on a three-peat? Can he win the candidates once again in 2024? He's showing that in the candidates, he always brings his A-game. He's super well prepared. There's nice ideas with white, also nice ideas with black. So it's very early still in the tournament. Fabiano and Gukesh are on his heels. But, you know, at this point, someone like Hikaru needs to start winning sooner rather than later, you know? Because you don't want to be in the bottom half for too long. Anyway, I hope all of you guys enjoyed the recap. Tomorrow is a well-deserved rest day for the tournament. and I look forward to seeing all of you guys in the next video. Alright, anyway, hope all of you guys are doing well. Thanks, Willie, for the 38 months. Really do appreciate it. Alright, so what did Fire Short say? Naroditsky, I will call Hikaru out and say the whole I don't really care about this tournament. All I care about is making the recap videos. That's just a mechanism. If it helps him manage his pressure levels, I'm all for it. I don't think anyone thinks that's actually the case. Yeah, honestly, I think the same thing for Hikaru. I think that's just a way for him to take the pressure off him a little bit. So, you know, whatever works for him. But I kind of agree with Danya there. My pleasure. Video will be up shortly. Hello, Jasper. Were there any more decisive games? Yes, there were some decisive games today, which you might have seen in the video. Hello, Gypsy. Hello, Geezer. Well, thanks 30 months of 32. Appreciate it. Hope all is well, my man. Always all thirsty. Perhaps, yeah, no, definitely possible. Definitely possible that we'll see a rematch. Still very early to say, but Jan's just crushing it. He's coming up with nice ideas. Like, here's the thing. That's one big difference between Blitz chess and classical chess. In Blitz chess, you just make moves, play quickly, and you always get chances. But in classical chess, you need to have good openings. And that's like a big difference that, yeah, like again, you see Nepo really bring his A game, coming up with strong novelties, putting his opponents under pressure from the very beginning, and they're just not able to deal with it. Hello, Harsh. Hello, everyone on Kick. Hello, Katam, Don, Kakashi, Vanny, Hitman. Thanks to M-Hand for the 24 viewers. Thanks a lot, M-Hand. Really do appreciate it. Big shout out to M-Hand. If you're new from M-Hand's channel, make sure to hit the follow button. Say hi. We're grinding here on Kick, trying to hit our goals. Yeah, I really do appreciate it. Everyone who came over from his channel. Good question, Harsh. I mean, Gukesh has been doing amazing in this tournament so far. Benjamin, do professional players prefer theory-heavy lines in these tournaments? Yeah, because generally a line is considered to be theory-heavy if it's critical, right? Like, for example, you can play something like, I don't know, like knight of 3 and then, I don't know, like b3 and mess around. But it's not really considered to be critical, and that's why they don't go for it. They want to really, they want to bring their opponent to a tight rope, where the opponent has to find a lot of good moves to reach equality. So if the opponent finds a lot of good moves, okay, that's life, he makes a draw. But they don't want to give him, they don't want to give the opponent like a lot of options where almost every single move is fine. So hopefully that makes sense. But a great question, Gypsy. Alright, I think... Alright, yeah. Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. I don't think so, Harsh. I mean, the other players are very young. Vidit has, yeah, he loses this game, which is kind of tough. So we'll see how he's gonna come back in the tournament. Yeah, the move knight h2 here in this game is a novelty. Yes, so the idea behind a novelty is to make your opponent think on your own, right? So they might not necessarily be better than what has been played before, but if you play what has been played before, there's a good chance your opponent has looked at it, and he can just, throw out his preparation. But if you play something new, then he has to think, and he's just a human after all, right? He might not have looked at your move with the computer. Yes. No, and I'll tell you guys why, because I guess a lot of top players, they consider 1e4 to be the critical test, the critical move, to put black under pressure. Players with black consider e5 to be the most solid response. And then against e4, e5, they consider the Gyoko, the Italian and the Ruy Lopez the critical test of the open games of E4, E5. So that is why we're seeing a lot of games with those openings. But great question. Alright guys, I don't think I'll stick around for too long. By the way, just reminding everyone, we have a HelloFresh campaign ongoing. Also, again, Dankeschön, Chess24 DE, für der Rate. Appreciate it, truly do. Willkommen, everyone. I forgot the word. My German is not that good anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, just to reiterate, everyone, we have a HelloFresh campaign going on, which is absolutely amazing. So let's see. Subscribe to HelloFresh and use my code POCHF132759 to receive 16 free meals plus free dessert for life while subscription is active. So check it out, everyone. I mean, the discount is absolutely amazing. You can, for example, get a box that would normally cost $250, but now you would pay only $107. So you get a $143 discount. Furthermore, like it says, if you sign up, then you get a free dessert while your subscription is active. So that's another like $10 discount. And if you do, you would support the channel, and because of that, to show my appreciation, I will give whoever signs up an on-stream lesson. So go to your profile, I'll check your games, and I will tell you what you have to do to improve. I was being distracted, clearly. So yeah, let me know if anyone has any questions about it. The signups are only valid in US though. But again, I cannot recommend it enough. It's an absolutely amazing deal. So like I said, you get the biggest discount if you get the biggest box, which would normally cost $250. That would be only $107. So you get $143 off and free dessert. You can, the cheapest plan would only cost $22, and in that case you get a $35 discount. Exactly. Yeah. So check it out, G Photos. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna love this. Definitely check it out. If people are still on the fence, just you know, let me know. But yeah, like I said, I will give you a free lesson on stream. So I think Logan and Robert signed up earlier, so if they are in the chat by any chance, you know, let me know. All right, thanks, hahaha. Honestly, this is kind of cool. Most streamers post recaps, but here you get to ask questions and it's interactive. My pleasure. My pleasure, hahaha. I'm telling you guys, this is the place for the best coverage of the Candidates Tournament this year. Exactly, yeah. Oh, harsh. Well, and also, by the way, the nice thing about HelloFresh is that you don't have to go to the store. They will put everything in a box, they deliver it to your doorstep, and it also has instructions as to how to cook it. Super easy to cook, super easy to clean up, Some meals are ready in like 10 minutes. The thinking behind rook b3, yeah, that move was a little bit odd, but the idea is to follow it up with, yeah, well, the idea is to go b5, b4 to try to open up this line towards the king, or knight a5 in here. But as we see, b5, b4 is a little bit slow. Like, let's say I go here. The idea indeed is to go here and here and try to create counterplay. Yeah, fantastic game by Nepo. Great game by Nepo. And here we kind of see the difference between Nepo and Hikaru in this tournament. Hikaru, I think one thing for him is that, you know, his preparation doesn't seem the best in this event. He didn't get anything against Vidit. As a matter of fact, he actually got a bad position out of the opening. And against Prag, he also didn't get anything with the white piece. And we see Nepo coming up with these novelties and putting his opponents under pressure from the very beginning. And not getting into any real pressure with the black piece. Also, although to be fair, he got under pressure against Gukesh yesterday. That was definitely not a pleasant game for him. Also, another great thing about HelloFresh is that they have things for everyone. They've got like, protein, like meat and veggies, just veggies, family friendly, all of those things. So you definitely want to check it out. But yeah, like I said, this is probably not going to be a super long stream. If anyone has any questions, about the candidates, about HelloFresh, anything else, about the courses that are on sale right now is a good time to ask. And I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. There's no Chinese players. No, Harsh. Also, by the way, on another note, follow and kick and say hi. We need some more unique chatters. We're very close, by the way, to hitting our final goal. So we can finally apply again to the kick program. Let me show you guys. We have 404 unique chatters. We need 96 more. This is the last goal. We have enough subs. We have enough viewers. We have streamed enough days, enough hours, enough followers. We need more people chatting. Just follow and kick and say hi. Hello, Phenomenally. I didn't see that game, Phenomenally. Hello, Zach. Welcome. Hello, first things. Well, this goal right here is for people on Kick. So say hi. I mean, of course, say hi on Twitch. But that's what this goal is for. Hello, Phenomenally. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well. Also, by the way, on another note, just wanted to let everyone know that my website is starting to look better and better. We're working hard on it behind the scenes. It's bogchess.com. Let's have a look. So, for example, here, you can go to the homepage. Again, coming soon. Still a lot of work to be done. The video right here. Then still some work to be done. And you can also click here. Here's telling you guys a little bit about coaching. Coaching direct involves one-on-one for those looking to get their chess game to the next level. I will assess your playing level and begin a customized lesson plan to start your journey on becoming a master of chess. So again, still a lot of work to be done, but a big shout out to one of my viewers, Sarkerfoot, who has been tremendously helping me behind the scenes. Really do appreciate it. Hello, Bach, Hyman. Bach Hyman might be a second. Have I decided pricing? No. Well, he will get the courses for free and he will get HelloFresh. as a some basic compensation right now. But if he does a good job, maybe he can get his cut of the prize fund. All right, guys. I think honestly, I might just get going. Oh, by the way, video. No, wait, we're not gonna get going yet. Oh no, shoot. Wait. Video is up. Video is up. Here, leave a like, leave a comment. That would really support the channel. Oh wait, what's going on? Hello, Harsh. Welcome to the channel. Oh yeah, Nosh. Feel free to send me a message on Discord, Nosh, and I'll see if. Ah, for the website. Aha, that's a good point. Yeah, no, still figuring that out. Guys, join the Discord. It's the best way to stay in touch while I'm offline. Yes, that's my website. Yep. There's still some work to be done, but it's starting to look better and better. Okay, by the way, we have some more chatters. 2 more. There we go. 94 more to go again. Say hi on Kick if you haven't already. Is there any interesting stuff to react to? Yes or no? Both. Both are fine, Harsh. Whatever you prefer. I'd say maybe open up both Twitch and Kick. Because then when you get hit with an ad on Twitch, you can always come over to Kick. And, avoid the ads. We're also live on YouTube, by the way, in case you're wondering. So there you can always go back into the stream, see what was said if you missed something. Nepo Grey Game, comment up. Oh, thank you, G Photos. Appreciate it. Hello, 32 Connor Street. Well, the unique chatter thing is for people on Kick. So follow them there if you haven't said hi yet. So apparently tomorrow is the solar eclipse. I'm trying to think, because I do want to see it. I definitely do want to see it. Chess Ninja says, so you had 4 unique chatter. Exactly. Yep. We need 94 more. We're almost there. Alright, sounds good, Harsh. Really do appreciate it. And for those of you who don't have a Kick account yet, it's very easy to create an account. Aha. Make sure to watch to get the right glasses. Interesting. Yeah, like apparently it's a super unique experience that only takes place once every couple of years. Ah, okay. Oh wow, next time there will be one in the UK, it's 2090. Damn. Yeah, that's the thing, like, they have an event tomorrow in chess.com, but it's during the solar eclipse, so... Okay, okay, sounds good, Jim. Jim, feel free to reach out to me privately on Discord, and or email me. You can also send me an email over here, Jim, and perhaps it's something maybe we can make it work. Okay, awesome. I've been there once, but it was a long time ago. Whoa! Thanks Starting Chess for the raid with 319 viewers. Really do appreciate it, Starting Chess. Thanks a lot for the raid. Welcome everyone from Starting Chess channel. Make sure to follow if you haven't already and say hi in the chat. I'll say hi back. Make sure to do Starting Chess. I think Starting Chess is one of our viewers. Didn't know you were streaming as well, everyone. Make sure to follow Starting Chess channel. Really do appreciate the raid, man. Thanks a lot. Again, welcome everyone. Welcome. Don't be shy. Don't be shy to say hi. Everyone say hi. Hello, Odafen. Welcome to the channel. And guys, don't be shy. I'll say hi back. Hello, Satis. Welcome to the channel. Oh, the next one in the US is going to be 2040. Yeah, like, honestly, like, I would be kind of crazy to not witness it. It's such a unique experience, so... I'll have to see exactly how I should go about seeing the solar eclipse. Like, where to go, what kind of glasses to wear. So you guys are talking about glasses. Are these glasses should be fine, right? These glasses should be fine, I would think. They're polarized sunglasses, G photos. Really? You need special eclipse sunglasses? Damn. They're polarized though. No, that's not good. Dang it. You wouldn't recommend using those? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why not? What's the issue? Alright, I'll watch.
Low supply. So of course, unsafe fake ones are being sold. Amazon has been pulling counterfeits off its website, and you should be aware of people selling fakes on the street during the event. It's actually hard to spot a fake, but there are some signs to look for. There are a few reputable vendors listed as trustworthy from the American Astronomical Society. They are ones such as this pair, made by EclipseGlasses.com. You should check if your vendor is on the safe list. Also check the label printed on the side. A safe pair should be labeled with ISO 12312-2. It's an international safety standard for how dark the lenses are for...
Damn, your eyes can get damaged? I didn't know that. Oh damn, really? How do your eyes get damaged? Ah. Because you're basically staring directly into the sun, is that the problem? If you look into the solar eclipse? Ah, Simo's looking at it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. In totality, uh-huh.
blocking sunlight and UV and IR radiation. But anyone can print whatever they want on some paper glasses. Doesn't mean it's true, right? How do you really know? Well, if you're being sold a fake pair of shades, there is another clue: how much light you can see when you put them on. You shouldn't be able to see anything except the sun itself, and you can test it by looking directly at the LED light of your smartphone. You should only be able to see the bulbs. I see 2 tiny orange circles surrounded by darkness. If you see any light behind a lampshade, that's not good. If there's any haze, not good. If it feels uncomfortably bright, not good. Don't play around with maybes. It could do permanent damage to your eyesight that you can't feel or notice right away. Oh, and never use this for looking at the sun through a telescope or camera lens. There's a whole other rule book for those. Do research before playing around with binoculars and cameras. So be safe, Earthlings. I'm Bridget Carey. For more eclipse tips and factoids, head to cnet.com.
All right, okay. Oh, damn. Oh, wow. That sounds rough. That sounds rough, Chess Ninja. Sorry to hear that. Alright, let's see. Is there like any video? Hello, Starting Chess. Good to see you. Again, welcome everyone from Starting Chess's channel. If you're new here, again, say hi, follow. Because also, if you say hi in the chat, I will see. Maybe I can give you a sub or something. Or what we can also do. Yes, raid went through. Really do appreciate it, Starting Chess. Like, really do. Thanks. If everyone says hi and follows the Kick channel, one of my viewers might be able to give you a private lesson. Because, again, we have to hit that goal of getting to 500 unique chatters. Right, we need 94 more. Yes. Oh, damn. Damn, Chess Ninja, that's rough. Again, all you have to do to enter into the giveaway is follow the channel on Kick and say hi. Exactly. Exactly, exactly. Yep. So there's many ways to get a lesson pretty much for free. Again, like I said, if you sign up for HelloFresh using my link, take advantage of that big discount, which can be up to $143. Or pretty much you can get like a $150 discount. And if you do that, you would get a lesson on stream. Yeah, everyone, just say hi. Just say hi on Kick. If we'll reach 500 unique chatters, we'll do a giveaway. 960 is cool. Yeah, no, I like 960. It's something else. All right, well. All right, guys. Honestly, I might just wrap up for today. Exactly. Next 5 unique chatters will gift a sub 2. Exactly. Yeah, just say hi on Kick. And yeah. I don't know why people are so reluctant to also, say hi on Kick. Like, but it is what it is. All right, guys. I think in all seriousness, we're just gonna wrap up. Appreciate you guys, but yeah, I gotta get going. My tournament's coming up pretty soon in 4 days already, so I want to prepare, make sure I'm well rested, all of those things. Check out the video; it is up on the YouTube for the candidates today. I'll probably stream tomorrow, but I definitely also want to see the solar eclipse, so I have to figure that out, like where to go. Yeah, the thing with the glasses. Damn, I don't know. So we'll see you guys later. Is there anyone watching on just on Kick that also streams on Kick themselves from time to time? Anyone watching on Kick that's streaming on there sometimes? Yep, no, indeed, what a missed opportunity. People don't even want to say hi. Hello, Krilly. Welcome to the Cake channel. Appreciate it. Now look, 406, 407. That's one more viewer. It's one more chatter. That's what we need. We're pushing these numbers up. Thanks, Noish, for gifting us up to Krilly. Guys, hello Mahmood. Again, guys, say hi on Kick and you might get gifted a sub. Say hi on Kick and you might get gifted a sub. Because it's simply the last goal we have to hit before we can apply for their program. And thanks Nosh. Thanks, really do appreciate it. Alright, well, it is what it is, so I guess I'm just gonna wrap up. Couple of things before we go. Again, I cannot recommend HelloFresh enough. If you sign up, you get a big discount up to $143. You can get a box that's worth $250 for only $107. You get a free dessert with every plan. And the cheapest box would be $22. And you would support me. You would support me, that would enable me to keep streaming. You know? So keep that in mind. And if you do sign up using my code, I will give you an on-stream lesson. Okay? So check it out. Check it out. Exactly. And the HelloFresh is, I mean, the meals are absolutely delicious and they deliver it to your door. It's yeah, it's great stuff that they have. So again, check it out. The courses are on sale. Check them out. Join my Discord. We have a great community there. And yeah, I'm taking on a few more students, but also in case you want to reach out for anything else, you know, feel free to send me an email over here. Anyway, that's it, you guys. Hope all of you guys enjoyed the stream. Appreciate everyone tuning in. And check out the recap on YouTube. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Hype Man. I will see all of you guys later. I will send you guys over to... I'll send you guys over to Ben and Karen. And on Kick, it's always a struggle. Sometimes a category. I mean, again, if someone's watching that's on the streams on Twitch, let me know, and I'll send you a raid. I guess I'll send it over to this guy. Like, hello endgame clown. Yeah, the HelloFresh command is not live yet on Kick. I don't know what to do to add it there. Again, really do appreciate everyone tuning in. See you guys later. All right, see you guys.